Star Wars rumor. Disney struggling to replace Kathleen Kennedy. Star Wars fact. Fandom struggling to open wallets until then. How's it going, everybody? This is Phil. This article comes to us from Screen Rant, and the author is Chris Agar. And again, the title is Star Wars Rumor, Disney Struggling to Replace Kathleen Kennedy. I can't imagine why. You mean nobody wants to be saddled with the daunting task of trying to come in and stop the bleeding, fire half a staff of writers, and restructure a haphazard film division, and try to unbreak a broken franchise that never needed fixing to begin with? I mean, yeah, good luck. Good luck with that. Okay, so... The latest Star Wars rumor implied Disney is struggling to find a replacement for Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy. To say it's been an interesting time for the galaxy far, far away recently would be an understatement. Yeah, I'd add sad and pathetic and cringeworthy and laughable, disorganized, unprofessional. I'd add all of that to that statement. Just 6 months after The Last Jedi destroyed the fandom and embarrassed all of our legacy characters, Solo became the first Star Wars installment to lose money. In the aftermath of all that, the studio was reportedly putting other planned spin-offs. Unfortunately, the Obi-Wan Kenobi movie, Boba Fett, may fall prey to that for at least the time being, raising questions about the franchise's future as they approach the post-Episode 9 world. At the center of this shitstorm is crazy-ass Kathleen Kennedy, who took over Lucasfilm when George Lucas sold his company to the Mouse House, and then on camera proceeded to outright lie right to his face when she said she would protect the characters George created and gave to the world.
The main thing is to protect these characters. Make sure that they still continue to live in the way that you created them, and that the universe of Star Wars continues to grow.
Despite being one of the most successful producers in history, with the least amount of creative talent ever, Kennedy has drawn the ire of some viewers who are displeased with the current direction of the property and want to see some changes. Early this month, there was speculation suggesting Kennedy was looking to step down, but the latest implies Disney is keen on moving on from her. Absolutely. Somebody's making sense over there. This information comes from Beyond the Trailer's Grace Randolph. Now, anybody who's watching this and hasn't seen Grace's video yet, definitely check it out. It's pretty great. I'll put a link down below in the description. So this information comes from Beyond the Trailer's Grace Randolph, who heard Disney CEO Bob Iger is interested in replacing Kennedy, but he cannot find anybody for the job. Allegedly, J.J. Abrams, the only candidate Randolph mentions, was offered the position, but he definitively turned it down, as have others. Yeah, I definitely don't want JJ. I mean, really, he's more of a tourist, in my opinion. Talented, yeah, but not everybody's cup of tea. And although he's head and shoulders, above this bobble-headed buffoon. Yeah, he's not the long-term solution for Lucasfilm. And this guy, he shouldn't be anywhere near Lucasfilm. He's nothing. He's nobody's solution unless you're trying to achieve sanity, and you're looking for insanity. You're looking for the opposite of sanity. This guy is who you want on the case. This asshole. All right, where was I? Ryan Johnson just gets me crazy. The reason why this is so challenging for Iger is because Lucasfilm apparently is a house divided. Kennedy loyalists versus those who predate Kennedy, similar to the fan base, and nobody wants to step into a situation like that. Well, you know what? Bob Iger is going to have to give whoever Kennedy's replacement ends up being a set of marching orders to clean house. And Bob's going to have to stand by those decisions and back his new president of Lucasfilm if they want to get back, if they want to get things back on the right course and get back to the business of producing quality Star Wars movies again. Movies that don't shit all over the fans and the characters that they love. Yeah, I mean, even though we've pretty much ruined just about anything the original trilogy had to offer at this point. I mean, let us light a candle and pray for Billy D. It's so bad. Okay, so it is highly important for viewers to take all this with a grain of salt, as it's just a rumor. Star Wars is in a place where some things, namely marketing strategies and release dates, need to be reevaluated. But they likely aren't going to make any drastic moves at this point in time. Firing Kennedy or outright canceling projects would be tremendous overreactions to one movie flopping at the box office. The Last Jedi. Here we go. I'm about to get triggered. For all the polarizing debates, still brought in $1.3 billion worldwide. Can we stop? That is a fool's gold figure. All right. The movie wrecked every single setup from The Force Awakens. Every single one. Okay. Not only that, it wrecked its own setups within the movie itself. That movie was a complete layup, and they intentionally pissed every single potentially satisfying plot thread away. All of them. Every single one. Intentionally. Rian Johnson did it intentionally. It underperformed by The Force Awakens. It underperformed The Force Awakens by $700 million. And you know what? I'll tell you what. It's lucky it got to $1.3 billion. All right? That's a box office gift off the back of the success of The Force Awakens. And the fact that this was the first film to feature Luke Skywalker and needed 35 years... Stop it. Everything was in place for that for another $2 billion take at the box office. And this movie limped to $1.3 billion. It's an underperformer and a letdown. And its Blu-ray sales further support this. I mean, I get it's hard to fathom something that makes $1 billion as a fail. But geez, let's stop feigning ignorance at this point. How about exercising some perspective? Scott, or whatever your name is. What is your name? Chris Agar. I was thinking Scott Mendelson for a second. Another maniac. Marvel and Pixar have rebounded from commercial disappointments in the past, so there's no reason why Star Wars can't either. Yeah, but when that happens at either of those two studios, that's more of a hiccup here and there. Those studios are consistent in quality and haven't trended down like Star Wars has shown to be doing. If Kennedy wants to leave on her own accord, that's her prerogative. Oh boy. But it would be surprising if she was shown a door after overseeing 3 movies that collectively earned more than $4 billion globally. All right, look, her prerogative. No. All right, she's a liability at this point. Okay, her prerogative has been effectively forfeited. All right, that $4 billion isn't all profit. So let's stop making it sound like that's the case too. And you can subtract Solo from that $4 billion while we're at it. The fans have been able to see how this will play out for months now. And if she stays there, what confidence should Bob Iger have that things will magically get corrected? That man didn't get to where he is in life by dealing with nonsense or allowing people to have flights of fancy, with her politics and her nonsense, that stand in the way of him succeeding. And I'll tell you what, he's been extending his contract for years with the Disney company. Every time he's supposed to be out the door, he extends his contract again. The last thing he wants to see as he finally walks out the door is his $4.05 billion acquisition of Star Wars, the greatest film franchise ever conceived, a literal license to print money, go down the tubes and taint his legacy. No way that shit flies in the House of Iger. Forget the House of Mouse. Bob's the big cheese you need to worry about. And Bob's going to show K. Double Cray the first available door he sees, if not a window. Stop. It's ridiculous. Okay. In some respects, Disney has itself to blame for the way Solo turned out, at least box office wise. Last week, it was reported Disney rejected Lucasfilm's plan to delay the spin-off to December 2018, forcing Solo to remain in its competitive summer window. But look, either way, I wasn't going. All right, and who knows how many more fans might have sat things out as word of mouth spread. The way John Kasdan kept opening his mouth and then jamming his foot in it, by December, the only people in the theaters for Solo would have been actual robots and pansexuals. and I'm not even sure they were all that interested in this film either. Additionally, Disney wouldn't allow Solo to interfere with promotional plans for Avengers Infinity War, putting Solo at a disadvantage. There's no denying the prequel was mismanaged all around. Kennedy deserves blame for Phil Lord and Chris Miller, for the Phil Lord and Chris Miller Star Wars musical situation that inflated Solo's budget when Lord and Miller brought in dancing bears and knife jugglers to help round out the big dance number at the end. And that's all true. I have an inside source, just like Grace Randolph, and I can't name them. Let's see, that putting Solo at disadvantage, but it's something everyone can learn lessons from. Hopefully, what happened on Solo was a fluke, and Star Wars goes back to thriving for years to come. Look, I think we're all hoping for that. I guess time will tell. I mean, really, it's just a matter of when at this point, not if. I will say that I really like Grace making a reference to Dave Filoni in her video, being in charge of creative, while they bring somebody else to run the financials and split the duties like Walt and his brother Roy did. I always felt that would be the way to go, because they don't seem to have enough confidence that Filoni can be the complete head of the studio, so bring somebody else to work with him. But the executive brought in to work with Filoni needs to have vision. Yet he can't become too involved on the creative end of things and impede Filoni's vision as a creator. Both need to work in concert to achieve a greater goal, relying on each other's skill set to get Lucasfilm back in order. I think if the right person was brought in to work alongside Filoni and both complemented each other's different attributes, then you could really get things back on track in a short period of time, as neither person would be bogged down too much by the other's responsibilities, as it would relate to each individual's strengths. So, but who will Filoni be paired up with? I'll have to give it some thought myself and see what I can come up with. I don't know the world of business like that, so my pool of suggestions is a bit on the shallow end. Anyway, what do you guys think? Does anybody have a suggestion for Cray Double K's replacement? Do you think it would be a singular person, or do you like the idea of Filoni teaming up with a co-president to run the show over at Lucasfilm? Either way, there needs to be some form of promotion for Filoni. The man deserves to have a far larger voice that carries greater authority over there. I mean, really, he's the next best thing to Lucas himself we're going to get at this point. So, okay, guys. So thanks for watching. If you like this video, please hit that thumbs up and feel free to comment below. And if this is your first time here, please consider subscribing. I think that would be just awesome. And as always, I appreciate you checking out my video. Be happy, be safe, be healthy. Have a great day. Take care.